buzzing all over me. She was buzzing all over me. She was buzzing all over me like she fell in love.
Waiting for tonight, oh, when you would be here in my arms. Waiting for tonight, oh, I've dreamed of this love for so long. Waiting for tonight.
Met her at a backyard block party by the bar.
Waiting for tonight.
She kept looking at me like she knew who I was.
Waiting for tonight.
Buzzing all over me. She was buzzing all over me. She was buzzing all over me.
Set fire to a world so cold. We're out of time on a highway to never. Hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on.
Keep bleeding, keep bleeding, love. You cut me away.
'Cause I'm in the stars tonight. So as we bring down fire, Saturday Night Light, shining through the city with a little funky song. So I'ma light it up like dynamite. Whoa, na 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 na. Life is dynamite. Na 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 na. Life is dynamite.
I'm here live.
Listen to Iron Maiden, baby, with
Light it up like dynamite.
We're gonna start in 2 minutes, guys. Let's go.
some nights I stay
Happy Monday.
cashing in my bad luck. Some nights I call it a draw. Some nights I wish that my lips could build a castle.
Drop in the chat. Let me know if you're ready to crush the week.
And then she asked me how we got here. I told her I don't know. And if you keep on asking, I'll just keep saying so. This isn't what I wanted, it isn't what you need. Or let them keep on talking. Just calm yourself and touch me, baby, any night. Touch me, baby, any night. You know this happens every time. Touch me, baby, any night.
All right, in the chat, I want you to drop the number one habit you are trying to stay consistent with. The number one habit. Let's go. Any area of life. Drop it into the chat.
Everywhere to me, and when I close my eyes, it's you.
That number one habit, I'm gonna give you 5 tips on how to go ahead and create a consistent habit.
I'm not alone. I'm not alone. If I die young, bury me inside, lay me down.
Got 60 seconds, guys.
The roses sing
That's the number one habit you're trying to stay consistent with.
at dawn. Send me away with the words of a love song.
When you see my face, hope it gives you hell, hope it gives you hell. When you walk my way, hope it gives you hell, hope it gives you hell. If you find a man that's worth a damn and treats you well, then he's a fool, you're just as well, hope it gives you hell.
If I die young, bury me inside, lay me down on a bed of roses, sink me in the river at dawn. Send me away with the words.
Hope it gives you.
We did it, Joe.
All right, I'm gonna stop this share. What is going on, everybody? And welcome to this week's conversion call. My name is John Marone. I am the Sync Conversion Specialist. If this is your first time listening, what is going on? And welcome to our conversion call. If this is your second, third, 1,000th time listening, welcome back. Super stoked to have you guys back. Here's something I need to ask every single one of you guys. What are we gonna do? Okay, what are we gonna do this week that is going to be different than last week that'll help us win, right? And for me, it's looking at my habits. I think for you, you got to understand that that's where it starts, right? So as always, we always start with a mindset shift before we get into the skill set shift. So who here is struggling with staying consistent with a habit? I saw you a bunch of them with actually wrote their habits down. Say I. If there's a habit, you don't need to say which one, because you already wrote that. Say I if you are struggling, staying consistent with a habit you know you want to stay consistent with. Let's go. This whole thing should be blowing up. All right. Well, as you guys drop that in there, by the way, happy belated Easter. Hopefully you guys had a phenomenal day and you celebrated the day and everything that it means around it. All right. So I'm going to give you guys 5 quick tips on how to create some empowering habits. Okay. Because in the end, our habits create our future. I'll say it again. Our habits create our future. If I was a fly on the wall and I watched your daily habits, what would that look like? Right? What would that look like? We always talk about browser history, right? Like when you don't want people to see your browser history, you're going to delete that history, right? Is it the same way with your habits? Are you going to try to delete the non-action to your habits, right? Or are you proud to say, I'm crushing my habits? And even if you are, there's always still one, right? Where I was trying to get back on track. So here, I see a bunch of people. I'm going to shout them all out. So we have, let's see. Lindsay's looking to track her food. We got Melissa, 20 contacts a day. Shelly, 2 hours a day. Time blocking, lead gen, being positive, up at 4:30. Quantity of calls each day, calling leads after multiple rejections, role playing. Look, I love it. Thank you guys for dropping them in here. Here we go. Ready? Here's your 5 tips. I'm going to give it to you really quick. I'm going to break it down little by little. So the first tip is you have to take ownership. So number 1 is look at your current habits with vulnerability. Okay. So on a piece of paper, okay, I want you to draw a line down the middle. So what you're going to do right now, really quick. We're going to take a minute to do this, and then you're going to do it afterwards. Piece of paper, draw a line down the middle. Okay. On one side, I want you to name it current habits that benefit me. Okay. So on one side, current habits that benefit me. The other side, you're going to put the current habits that don't benefit me. Because we all have habits. And sometimes, we hear the word habits, we think they're good things. No, right? So habits are also bad things. So let's take 30 seconds. I want you to write down really quick, rapid fire. Let's stay on the left-hand side. Let's stay on the habits that empower you, that benefit you. What are those habits? Write them down. Let's go. I'm going to give you a little countdown. Let's go. 30 seconds. What are those habits? Write them on the left side of your piece of paper. What are those habits that benefit you? Let's go. Write them all down. Just jot them down. Is it drinking enough water? Is it making your dials? Is it having a good relationship and being present with your family? Is it jumping on this call every other Monday? Take 15 more seconds. Jot them down. Let's go. What are those empowering habits? Okay. All right. Perfect. So now we got those down. Now on the right-hand side, right, which is going to be your disempowering habits, right? The habits that don't serve you. Write down what are those habits that don't serve you. Complaining, eating too much, giving up too easily, smoking too much, drinking too much. Is it creating more excuses? The bad habits, watching too much Netflix and less productivity time. The bad habits, not waking up in time. Bad habits, not going to sleep in time. Bad habits, watching too much TV, watching the news, scrolling on Facebook. Like, what are these things that you currently are doing, the habits that are not benefiting you? We'll take another 20 seconds. What are these disempowering habits? Right? Once again, is it giving up too easily? Is it creating a negative story? Is it complaining? Is it going ahead and smoking, drinking too much? Is it not staying focused? Because that's a habit. 10 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right. Now I'm curious. Now, obviously, there's probably more on each side that you could write, but looking at it, what do you have more of? Good habits or bad habits? I'm just curious. It's just like a little roll call. Good or bad? Drop it into the chat. Good or bad? Got bad, bad, good. All right, 3, 4. Okay, bad, bad, good. Keep them coming. Even. All right. Equal. Okay. All right. I love it. It was actually heavier on the bad side, right? It's okay, guys, because guess what? John Marone, the man you're listening to right now, was very heavy on the bad side of habits. And I could sit here and have a whole call on all those habits that were not empowering me. But that's not what we're going to do today. So now we know that, right? I always love to identify first. I always talk about if we're ever going to set sail, I always want to plug the holes in the ship first, right? So, maybe there's coaches out there, your mentors out there, your leaders out there trying to help you create new habits. Hopefully you have somebody that's helping you with that. But I'm hoping, it's not often though, that same person is helping you identify the habits you need to stop doing first. I'm hoping they're doing that, because if not, then you're setting yourself up for a very good chance to fail. We always need to plug the holes in the ship first. So I love you want to add good habits, but we got to identify what those bad habits are. Okay. Now that you're aware of those bad habits, write down what you'll replace it with that'll help you reach your goal. Okay. So once again, another 30 seconds. What are you going to replace it with? So let's look at the bad habit. Is there something you could replace it with? Let's say watching too much TV. I'm going to replace it with reading, right? Eating too much. Every time I eat too much, I'm going to drink more water. Okay. Every time I go ahead and I can't stay focused, I'm going to go ahead and do 20 push-ups. Every time I see myself getting lost in distraction. What are you going to replace it with? Is there something you could replace that bad habit with? And a lot of times those bad habits happen because of what we're going to talk about here in a minute. So let's say 15 seconds. So don't do all of them right now. You don't have to. But what can you replace it with? Now we identify with the bad habits. What are we going to change it to? 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. How about giving up easily? Absolutely. So giving up easily, whenever that's a bad habit, every time that happens, what are you going to put in place of it? I was talking to somebody at Conversion Day on Thursday where we made $1 million plus in Conversion Day in 1 hour of dialing. So I was talking to them about, what they can replace with their self-doubt, which in the end that's giving up easily, right? And I said, create evidence of success, right? Create a file of success that you've already had that you probably don't tap into enough. If you don't have a win wall, create a win wall, which is a wall full of Post-its of all the wins that you've created over the week, and compile that week after week after week after week. You should have an entire wall full of Post-its by the end of the year. Right? The next thing you can also do is have a great testimonial of somebody that you've actually helped before. Have that on rotation in your background. So every time you feel self-doubt and you want to quit, realize, man, if I quit, I would never be able to help that person or that family. All right. So that's number 2. Number 3, this is the big one. Create triggers. So when you go back to the old habits, it helps you correct it to make it a good habit. So what I mean is there's probably a reason why you are doing what you're doing, right? They're triggers. I'm giving up easily because it's a trigger of someone saying no. I'm eating too much because I'm stressed about my finances. Whatever it might be, what I want you to do is I want you to create that trigger, right? Like when you're stressed, understand what that trigger is, and then put a good habit after it. But I also, on the other side, right, on the left-hand side, we have all those good habits. Continue to put triggers in front of it to stay consistent. Very small example. Feet touch the ground, water I pound. Every morning, boom, my feet touch the ground, water I pound. Right? Every time I shampoo my hair, I speak and feel and see and visualize gratitude. Boom, every time I condition my hair, I do the same for affirmations. So that's number 3. Number 4, set small goals that those habits will help you with. Right? So what I mean is create small goals right now. I love talking about big goals, but what are some small goals? So I see somebody wants to wake up at 4:30. What time are you waking up now? Don't set the goal to be waking up at 4:30 tomorrow if you're waking up at 7 today. Set a small goal to wake up at 6:30 for the next 2 weeks. Right? The girl who just said, hey, I give up too easy, or the guy who said I just gave up too easy, or I don't, stay focused. I have self-doubt. Make it a small goal. Every time that happens, you call one more person. Just this week, every time self-doubt, call one more person. Next week, I'm going to call 3 more people. So small goals, right, around those habits. Here's the last, but not least, have somebody hold you accountable. Someone who's going to tell you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear. Super important. Super important. Okay? Because it's so crucial for you to understand that you don't have to do this thing alone. And you sure as hell shouldn't. And you're going to take way more time trying to get where you want to go doing it yourself. Have somebody hold you accountable. Create an accountability group. Hire a mentor, whatever it needs to be. Get somebody that's going to push you and challenge you to be great. Your habits control your future. But honestly, for us to stay disciplined to our habits without accountability, that is sometimes the piece that a lot of us are missing. Why do you think the best players always say, if it wasn't for my coach, right? If it wasn't for my coach, because they're able to truly see the things that that person's not able to see and then identify them and tell them what they need to hear, not what they want to hear. Have somebody in your corner, not just as a cheerleader, but also as a leader that challenges you. Any questions on those 5 quick tips on how to go ahead and stay consistent with some good habits and identify the bad habits and what to change them to? Any questions on it? Or are you guys with me on it? Let me see a yes in the chat. Bada bing, bada boom. All right, perfect. All right, let's dive into some skill set shifts. Here's what I want to know. Who here wants to role play? Who here wants to role play? Because I want to hear how somebody's doing it, and I want to do some live feedback. Let's see. Who here wants to role play? Let's see. Go over here. I'm going to unraise your hand real quick because I don't know if you raised your hand before. All right. So if you want to role play, raise your hand, and I will unmute you. Boom. We got Mike. We got Anthony. All right, I'll try to get to both of you. Mike, I am going to unmute you first, brother. You were first to raise your hand. Quick to the trigger. Let's see. All right, Mike, you are going to be unmuted in 3, 2, 1.
Boom.
All right, Mike, you there, brother?
I'm here.
What is going on, man? How are you?
I'm good. Just doing some calls, saw the email, and I was like, oh, let me jump on.
Yeah, man, that's awesome. So this is your first time?
First time in a while.
Okay. Well, what happened, man? Welcome back. Why'd you leave us?
Got busy. I need to, it's a bad habit, I guess, just like you talked about, right? I need to make training and nurturing my brain with this type of stuff a daily, if not for sure weekly ritual to just keep me on track, keep me plugging away.
I want to touch on that really quick because guys, understand that we will never outgrow our business. Believe me, I've tried and I've tried and I've tried. I've always tried, but you will never outgrow your business. What I mean is that your personal development has to be at a top priority, right? It's your $1 million appointment when you read those 10 pages. It's your $1 million appointment when you jump on that training of the role play. Like those are the reason why you get the results. I always talk about celebrating people's wins, right? And what I mean is like someone says, oh man, I closed 10 deals this month, and we celebrate the 10 deals, right? But in reality, what we should be celebrating is the things they had to overcome and the dedication and the discipline that they had to have every single day to get those 10 deals. So as we sit here and we celebrate those 10 deals, which is great, what I would prefer is us to celebrate those daily habits that they stayed consistent with, which the 10 deals became a byproduct of. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
So tell me, Mike, where are you listening in from?
I am in Georgia.
Georgia, whereabouts?
Canton, which is north of Atlanta.
Okay, awesome. So are you using our scripts or are you using your own?
No, I'm using your stuff.
All right, perfect, dude. So what I'm going to do is make it real simple. You're going to give me a call. You're going to be the buyer. You're going to be the agent. I'll be the buyer. I'll give you some feedback at the end, and then we'll break it down from there. Sound good?
Sounds good. I don't have any scripts up right at this moment, though.
I mean, do you feel confident in just flowing with it?
You know what? Let's just do it.
All right. So look here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you, I'll give you a little head start. Hold on. I'll share my screen with you.
Okay.
I'll give you a cheat sheet really quick of the opening line. And then the rest is going to be all you though.
Okay.
Hold on. Let me get the share screen.
This is how you grow. This is how you improve.
I'm telling you, just get in the ring, man. That's how you do it. All right. Let's see. There we go. All right. So you see my screen?
Yes.
All right. Perfect. So I want you to give me a ring, ring, and then I'll answer, and we'll go from the top.
All right. Ring, ring.
Hello.
Hey, this is John with the home search site. I noticed you're looking over in Destin at some homes. Just curious, are you looking to make a move in the next few months, or are you just browsing?
Yeah, right now, man, we are just browsing.
That's perfect, man. That's exactly what this site is for. While I have you, what's prompting you to browse?
You know, we're just looking for a bigger space.
Bigger space? Okay, perfect. That's exactly what the site is for. Oh, wait, that's kind of the same thing over and over.
Yeah. Now, just flow with it. Whatever you would say.
Great. So, what's prompting you to have need a bigger space?
Yeah. So we're growing a family. So we got one child, and we just had another one, and so we just need definitely a lot more space. We're really crammed over here.
Awesome. I totally understand that. I have little children myself, so yeah, lots of toys and lots of things you're gonna need room for. How old are those kids?
We have a 5-year-old and a 3-month-old.
Oh, wow. Okay. Gotcha, man. That's awesome. Congrats to you guys.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
So, your current space, what square footage are you at?
I think we're at like 2,100, 2,200, about that.
And where are you looking to be?
I mean, square footage wise, not big for me. We just need extra rooms.
Gotcha. Okay. Extra rooms. Perfect. All right, awesome. So, okay, off the role play. So
no, stay with it, brother. You got this. You got this. Yeah. Keep rolling.
Great. Okay, awesome. And so when are you guys ideally, in a perfect world, when are you looking to be in a house that has more rooms by?
I guess when we see it, right? I mean, this market's pretty crazy right now. So we're a little gun shy with the prices.
That's totally understandable. Have you guys been pre-qualified yet?
Yeah. We're actually gonna be paying cash.
Oh, okay, awesome. Okay, great. Well, that definitely frees up a lot of options when you pair yourself with a experienced agent in the area who knows how to write creative offers. Does that sound like something that you'd be interested in?
Maybe, but not right now. Obviously, if I see some stuff, I can just go ahead and let you know, right?
Absolutely, yeah. Feel free to use the site, and if you do, let me know. And what I'll do is, if I see anything that's looks like what you're looking for, I can also send you some emails too to alert you.
Okay, that works.
Fantastic. Well, feel free to get on the site, and hopefully we'll talk soon.
Perfect. Thank you, Ben.
All right. Bye-bye.
All right. Well, first off, good job raising your hand, man. You were, like I said, the first one to put your hand up, so I grabbed you up here.
Awesome.
The opening. So you're using my scripts. I'm just asking you bluntly. You're using our scripts. How many times do you practice it, though?
I need to practice it more, clearly.
Yeah. So I'm going to say the opening line just really quick because, you read it how it sounded, right? And the reason also why I know you didn't really practice is because you used my name and then where I'm located, which is in Destin, versus if you're using it, it would have been natural for you to utilize your name, right?
True.
So I'm just going to go ahead. I'm going to say it real quick, and then you can kind of hear the difference, right? So you call, you say, hey, this is John with the home search site. I noticed you were looking over in Destin at some homes. Man, I'm just curious, are you looking to make a move in the next few months, or are you just browsing?
Gotcha. Okay.
So when I'm doing it one more time, I'm going to say, just curious, you're looking to make a move. I'll elongate, move a bit, and I'll drop just browsing down to a tonality, right? So I say, hey, man, this is John with the home search site. I noticed that you're looking over in Destin at some homes. Just curious, you're looking to make a move in the next few months, or are you just browsing? You would say?
Just browsing right now.
Perfect, man. That's exactly what the site is for. Well, I have you. What's prompting you to browse?
I need to move to a different school district. My daughter's living on the other side of town.
Okay. So I'm going to stop right there. The part right here where you did perfect, exactly what the site's for, you did that really good. Like this right here was solid.
Cool. Right?
Because you do like an in there, which I'm a fan of. I'm a fan of dropping the uhs and the ums in there as long as you're not stuttering nonstop. It makes it more of a human connection, right? If you're like, different story. But you did it correctly. But up here, if you notice when I said, hey, man, you looking to make a move in the next few months, or are you just browsing? That like tonality drop of just browsing, what it does psychologically, it takes the intimidation of being sold out from the buyer. Versus if I say, just curious, are you looking to make a move in the next few months, or are you just browsing? Like that's flatlined. right? That's way more salesy. Do you see that?
I hear the difference. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So what I also want to ask you is, how many rooms do I currently have?
Gotcha. Okay.
So you asked me about square footage, which to be, I'm not a big fan of square footage because you and I both know that 1,800 square feet in one home could look way different than 1,800 in another home. If they come out and they're like, man, I need 5,000 square foot, that's a different story. But for me, when someone says, man, I'm just looking for something bigger, the very simple question, interesting. Okay. So tell me a little bit more. What do you mean by bigger?
Gotcha.
Instead of, so how many square feet do you need? Right? What do you mean by bigger? Man, I just need more of an open concept. Man, I need more bedrooms. And I said I needed more bedrooms. Then you did a great job, by the way, of like, oh, okay, tell me more about that. I have, 2 kids. And you said, I absolutely get that. I got some kids myself. You got all those toys everywhere. But then you jump to another question versus staying in that lane. So what it should have sounded like when I said, I have kids, you did great, built the conversation, come back in and said, okay, interesting. So how many rooms do you need? And then you can go ahead and role play with me. So how many rooms do you need?
I'm probably going to need about 4 to 5.
Okay, awesome. 4 to 5. And curious, how many do you have currently?
We're in a 3-bedroom right now.
Okay, so let's just say we got you the 5 bedrooms. What are the extra bedrooms going to be used for?
They're going to be used for the newborn and probably toys.
All right, perfect, man. We actually have 2 toy rooms. And it feels like every time my daughter gives some away, there's like 10 more that just get brought in. Don't know how it happens, but Amazon is our best friend. So, so you're obviously looking to get bigger space and get more rooms. What would that do for you to be able to have those extra rooms for specifically just a toy room and for the newborn?
Well, it'd free up some space because I work remotely from home, and it's just really hard to have conference calls when the kids are being loud and playing with toys in the middle of the living room or in the dining room because everything's kind of open. Man,
I get that. So you said you work from home. What do you do for a living?
I do security consulting.
Okay, awesome, man. That's awesome. And so you currently work from home. Do you have like an office or anything where you're at and it's just open? Tell me more about that.
So my office is in my bedroom, but I ended up doing a lot of work from the couch in the living room. So I'm just kind of in the main area, which is, it can tend to be loud.
and distracted a little bit.
Yes.
Yeah. You got kids jumping all over you. Yeah, I definitely get that. So do you want an office in a new home?
Ideally, maybe one of the bedrooms, depending on the size of them. Yeah. If I could turn that into a home office that I could close the door and kind of be in my own space, that'd be great.
Okay. Awesome. So what would that mean for you to be able to have obviously like your own space? The kids have their own space. Dad's able to be productive, probably get more work done in less time. What would that mean for you guys?
Just more happy lifestyle at home, I guess.
Cool. Okay. Awesome. And obviously, like here's the thing. I obviously want to get you a 5 bedrooms, right? I want to get you the bigger home, but the big thing I always strive for is getting you that happier lifestyle. And so as long as I identified what that was, now I understand, and obviously what we're looking for. And the reason why I say that is when I'm looking off market for things for you, I want to make sure that I understand what happy lifestyle means. So I'm glad that we identified. I appreciate that, man. Thank you.
Absolutely.
And then boom, I go into it.
Gotcha.
So what I did there though, is I stayed the course, right? I didn't keep jumping. You asked me if I was pre-qualified way too early.
Okay.
Right. You also, if you just run by this rule, which is 3 whys for every what, it's really simple. And this is what it looks like. And you can write this down. This is how the conversation flow should look. It goes a what, and then a why. So what would be how many bedrooms? 4, 5. Okay. Why? Man, okay. So why 5 bedrooms? Tell me a little more about that. You told me you want a room for the kids, a room for the toys. Listen to understand. I extracted information. I built a conversation, right? Have a conversation around the kids. Like you did a great job before around the kids, around the lifestyle. And then you jumped to another what question. I want you to jump to another why question.
Gotcha.
And a lot of times that why question could fall into another thing that you listen to. So another why question for me, I heard you say that you needed work from home, right? And you want that space to be able to work from home more peacefully. And I heard that. And so I brought in a conversation saying, man, what do you do for a living? Then I started jumping back into this flow. What would that do for you? Right. And then once I had the conversation, I told you why I was asking these questions. Right, man, I want to get you a 5-bedroom house, but more importantly, I want to be able to get you that lifestyle that you're looking for. Is that fair? Yeah, that's fair. Gotcha. Now I can have permission to ask for the business. All right. So, hey, man, it's super simple. Next step in the process to get you to that happy lifestyle. It's real simple. We jump on a quick 15-minute Zoom call. So this way I can hand select some homes for you, kind of show you what we're thinking and what's out there, also off market. And then we can kind of show you our strategy on how we can get you the best deal in the right time frame. Does that sound good?
Yeah, that sounds fantastic.
All right, perfect. So what works better for you, Tuesday or Wednesday this week?
Let's go Tuesday.
All right, perfect. But do you see how that conversation went a little bit different?
Yeah.
Right. Definitely. No, not every single one's going to be like easy like that.
Right.
But I promise you, man, it's a way higher percentage than most people think. 85%, 80% are going to go like that. And especially when you break it down on why I'm asking you all these questions, you know? Mm-hmm. So what questions do you have for me out of this?
That was a really good flow of that. I just need to start rehearsing that and practicing it. Maybe have some kind of, I guess, like a template. I don't know if it's in the Sync Help or what, but I just need to practice it more. Yeah, absolutely. And I'll be honest, man, I think I would love, obviously, for you to come to a conversion day. Our next one in Atlanta, I know we got one in October. We're having our summit, and then we're having a conversion day the day before. Awesome. I'm telling you, man, come. It's worth every penny, especially if you're local like that. It's a no-brainer. If you're going to be in the system, right, for you and anybody, if you're going to be in the system, you might as well get trained on how to use it and how to convert these leads at the highest level. I mean, our conversion rate is 33% in the last 5 years, every single month, 8,500 agents almost. Wow. It's ridiculous. And anybody that's on here will, I mean, hopefully you guys can chime in on the chat, for those that have been even recently and could attest to that. But another quick note is you asked me if I was pre-qualified. Mm-hmm. We always want to ask, hey, are you paying cash or financing? Okay. Yeah. Unfortunately, when we say pre-qualified and the people who are going to pay cash, you're going to hurt their ego. Gotcha. And as soon as you hurt their ego, man, it's going to be hard to come back to. No, that's a better twist of how to get the information you want, but not hurt somebody in the process. Yeah. And just simple. All right. Awesome. So are you going to be paying cash or are you financing? Financing. All right. I love it, man. So are you pre-qualified or do you need me to help you with that? We got some lenders that are local that we can kind of recommend you to. Oh yeah. Can you help me with that? Mm-hmm. Whatever. Cool. All right. Any questions? No, that's pretty good breakdown there. Good, man. Well, I appreciate you raising your hand. Appreciate you jumping in here. I hope to see you at the Atlanta conversion day, and I hope to see you continually on here. Last piece of advice, role play this, man, over and over and over again. Just get used to it. The script becomes really simple when it's opening line, listening to understand, and having those 3 whys deep for every what, and then a close. That's the most simplest structure of it. But you raise your hand and jump in here. So that's the biggest win for you today, that you were bold, man, you were brave, and you jumped into the waters. So I appreciate that. Absolutely. Thank you so much. And then where can I find the script so I can start practicing? Yeah. So if you hit up, it should be in just hit up training at syncpro.com. Okay. Yeah. And there's I think they have a 1-sheeter, but if you've been to a summit, if you've been to a conversion day, they'll actually give it to you and then they'll send it to you as well. Okay. Cool. So yeah, definitely reach out to that. And then if you need me, you or anybody, you could hit me up on Instagram at Real John Marone. Send me a message. Let me know kind of how the role playing is going. Let me know how the calls are going, or even outside of that, right? I mean, we can go way deeper. There's no boundaries. So let me know if you have any questions, man. Just slide into the DMs. Awesome. I'll add you on Instagram. Thank you. Absolutely, man. Appreciate you. Go crush the week. All right, we'll do. All right, guys. So out of that, I'm going to jump through here and see the chat. But any questions?
Any questions? Let's see. I'm jumping in here. Could you repeat your Instagram? Yeah, it's Real John Marone. I'm going to go ahead and put it on here. It's right there, at Real John Marone. All right. I'm just scrolling through the chat, guys, seeing what we got here. All right. I got David. You asked a question about follow-up. I'll hit that in a second. Stop leaving voicemails for strangers. Anthony, thank you for saying that to David. I see that. Yeah, we do not leave voicemails. Yeah, we do not leave voicemails, guys. You leave a voicemail, and remember, here's the concept, right? Let's look at like breaking down the science and art of sales, but also with human behavior and human psychology. We are cavemen, cavewomen, right? So when we feel fear, we run. Now, unfortunately, the average consumer sees a real estate agent as a sleazy car salesman. We know that not to be true, but that's what they feel. So when you call and you say, I am a real estate agent, they hear sleazy salesman. Once again, we know that's not true, but that's what the consumer thinks. They also hear, I'm going to try to sell you something. We know that's not true, but that's what they hear. We're up against that. So we don't want to leave a voicemail saying those two things because the likelihood of them calling us back is very little. And the other side of it is the likelihood of them never answering is actually very high because now they actually know who you are. Does that make sense, David? Now, if it's a follow-up, and now it's just kind of off, any kind of lead that you have that you haven't spoke to. If they're a follow-up call, the way that you reach out to them is with three things, okay? High energy, urgency, and a call to action. Don't call and say, hey, I just want to see how you're doing. Give me a call back, right? You call and say, hey, David, it's John over here with, ABC. Just wanted to give you a call. We have 123 Main Street that's about to hit the market. And I know this checks off all your boxes. So we can go ahead and get you some eyes on it before anybody else in the market does. Do me a quick favor and just give me a call back and let me know either way. Does that help, David? Let me know if that helped. Perfect. Someone said, my man Micah said he was in Sync U and Conversion Day in December. It was awesome. What up, dude? Josh says, what are the dates for Summit in October? I'll tell you right now. Give me 1 second. Summit. I'll tell you, hold on. I believe it's the 21st and the 22nd. Oh yeah, also we have Atlanta June 7th. For anybody that's in Atlanta, we'll be in Atlanta June 7th doing a conversion day in Sync U. So I know I said October was the next one, but that's not the next one. October is going to be Summit and Conversion Day, but we do have a Conversion Day in Atlanta June 7th. We also have one in Denver in May. So if you're near or want to come to Denver, come hang out May 10th to the 12th. October 19th to 21st is going to be the Sync Summit with a Conversion Day in Atlanta. All right, let's see. What is the best script or email to call olds messages more than a couple years old? George, are these people that you already spoke to? Are these people that you already sold? Are these people that have just been kind of sitting in your pipeline? The ones that you want to leave messages for? What if they're lukewarm? Define lukewarm, David, because that's obviously changes. To me, if you talk to them and you didn't get the whats, you definitely didn't get the whys. That's not, anybody that you built a relationship with. If you just got the whats, that's to me a lukewarm. But if you didn't get real motivation, then it's hard. But even at that, you still leave the same voicemail. But also always try, David and anybody, this is the only time you get to talk to the person. Please try to set there's not even a try. Let's take that word out. Every time you talk to somebody, you should be doing everything you can to advance them to the next level of connection, which is getting them on a Zoom or face-to-face. The levels of connection go, if you want to write this down, levels of connection, okay? Level 1, which is the bottom level, is going to be email. Level 2, text. Level 3, phone call. Level 4, Zoom or FaceTime, Skype, whatever it might be. And then level 5 is going to be face-to-face. Now, why is that important? We always say ask better questions, get better results. So when you're talking to somebody in one of those levels, you have to ask yourself, what can I ask them to advance it to the next level? If I'm on a phone call with them, what do I need to ask them to get it to one of the next levels? If I'm on an email with them, what do I need to do to ask them to get them into a phone call or into a face-to-face? So hopefully that helped. George says in his pipeline, once again, George, what do you mean by pipeline, man? There's many different stages, brother. So when you're trying to leave these messages, I'll keep it like real simple for you. You don't leave any voicemails unless you've had a conversation with them. And that conversation actually had some depth to it. Never answered before. Yeah, George, don't be leaving voicemails, brother. But you should be sending out emails. You should be sending out, postcards if possible, but all that drip should be there. Remember, guys, if you set them up on a drip campaign is not just your daily search criteria. A drip campaign is going to be value added with it. I'm in resort town market, so a lot of my follow-up is trying to determine when they're going to be in the area. David, I am as well. I am here in Destin, Florida. So my area is very much second home, very much we're not in town right now. And so it's so important, anybody that's in that kind of market, to have a face-to-face with them via Zoom or via FaceTime. That is so crucial. I just put 3 under contract going at the end of last week. And the way I did that was all 3 of them wanted to wait until one wanted to wait until January next year. One wanted to wait until June till they got here. And the other one wanted to wait till October till they got here. I dug deep into their why. I built massive value and trust. And then I asked them the simple question of, if you find that Right Home checks off all your boxes, I inserted motivation. Would you still need to wait until January? Would you still need to wait until June? And they said, no, I trust you being able to guide me in this process. All 3 of them, David, all 3 of them. No better than anybody here, but I asked them better questions. And that's how I turned 3 people who were 6 months to a year out into, when they told me that, putting an offer in on a home within less than 5 days, all 3 of them. Does that help, David? All right, perfect. Same in Charleston, great advice. Yeah, Debbie, it's a must, because I'll tell you, like, they want to wait, but guess what's going to happen? In the meantime, with them waiting, they're going to find a home that they love, and they're going to reach out to that person that possibly is the listing agent, who knows? And they're look, I'm tired of calling people back and them saying, I already bought. Who's tired of that? Who's tired of people telling you that they're waiting, and then you call back and they said, I already bought, or I already sold? Put yes into the chat if you're sick and tired of that. Right? And that's because you're not asking the right questions. That's because you're not diving into their why. I always play this game. This might hurt some people. Okay. In the last 12 months, how many people do you think actually told you they were going to wait, and you reached out to them and they told you they already bought or they sold? How many people? Drop it in there. Drop it into the chat. I'm curious. I want to play a quick game. My man Mike says 20. All right, Mike, we're going to run with you because you got a high number. All right, so they tell you, so 20 people. Mike, what's your average commission take home? Mike says he's got 20 people that have said that. What's your average commission take home? 85. I'm pulling my calculator out. I went to public school, so I'm gonna use my calculator on this one. All right, so let's say out of those 20 people, right? So those 20 people bought, he had lost $170,000. You lost $170,000. But here's the crazy part. You lost more than that. Let me tell you why. Out of those 20, let's just say you had 10 of those actually who referred you somebody, right? So you got 10 referrals that have closed in the next 12 months. So that's another 85. So that's not $85,000. That's $255,000, Mike. Now, what I won't tell you is the other part that hurts. Those 20 are the ones that actually picked up. How many others you think never even picked up and they bought or sold in way less time than they said? So you lost 300K bare minimum, my man. And the reason why I bring it up like that is because we need it to hurt sometimes, right? Whether it's 2, whether it's 5, whether it's 20, right? Like, I don't know. But if I asked you, Mike, what would you do with $260,000 this year? I'm sure you'd be able to create a beautiful picture of what that would look like, right? So get that picture in your brain so you continue to ask better questions and continue to drive the conversation with value. You want to buy an Airbnb in Destin? Mike, reach out to me, dude. I got you. We do it all day, every day, dude. All day, every day. That's obviously a huge piece is our investment division that we have. Let's see. All right. So let's see. Is it okay to leave a message if they are not responding after a few calls? Nope. Sorry, Mina. Do not leave a message. Do not leave a message. Don't video text. Don't let, if you have AI, do that. I know video text we like to do, but I want to do it yet. Because when you say a few calls, majority of people will say a few calls is 2. If you got 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 6 weeks of dialing, then you could do that, right? Then you could do that. But identify what a few calls is. I get this question asked all the time. When do I stop calling? And the answer is when you leave real estate. That's when you stop calling. You continue to call, continue to call, continue to call, right? Create the right pipelines, create the right calendar spaces to be able to call the right amount of people. If you guys aren't dialing, what I like to do is a 2x4, right? 2 hours a day, 4 days a week, 2 hours a day, 4 days a week. Or you could do a 1x1x1 times 5. Depends on where you're at in your business, right? What's a 1x1x1 times 5? 1 is follow up with people you already spoke to. It's 1 hour of that. Put that in your calendar. The next 1 hour is dialing new leads. The next 1 hour is working the leads that you are working right now of searching off market and doing some strategic things in order to get them homes to be able to close them. So it's 1x1x1x5, 3 hours a day, 5 days a week. If you do that, depending on where you're at, right? Maybe it's 30 minutes, 30 minutes, 30 minutes. So it's what we obviously that may vary for some of you guys, but it's 1 hour of follow-up, 1 hour of calling new leads, and 1 hour of working the leads that you already are working in order to go ahead and obviously, find the right home for them. And how long of learning? If you're not doing 30 minutes of personal development every morning, I would highly suggest that. And I would do it first thing in the morning, whatever that looks like. And then for role play, you should be role playing minimum 15 minutes a day. Like if you can't dedicate 15 minutes a day, let's break this down really quick, guys. So we have 1 hour dialing, 1 hour of follow-up, 1 hour of with working your old leads. There's 3 hours. Okay. Let's call another 30 minutes of personal development. Okay. And let's just say it's another 30 minutes of role play. So that's 5 hours. That's 5 hours in your week or in your day, right? 5 hours in your day. What I would look at is where can you put that, right? Okay, 30 minutes of personal development, that should be first thing. That should be before anybody else wakes up. Take care of you, right? The 30 minutes of role play, that should be before you dial your leads. And then the rest of the stuff, put in wherever you want in the calendar, but you should be able to work on your business 5 hours a day. That's what it would look like. Now, some of you, once again, it may look a little different. You may have a ton of new leads and nobody you're working. So you go a little heavier on calling new leads. You may have no new leads, really, just very little, but you have a decent amount of people. So you got to vary for your business. It's going to be different, but that's the rule of thumb. A 1x1x1 times 5. And then role play 30 minutes a day, personal development 30 minutes a day. Any questions on that? Does that help, Susie? I know Susie asked how long for learning. Any questions? Any questions? We're here for another 5 minutes, guys. So what are you dealing with? What are you struggling with? Let's go. Let me help you. We don't have enough time to do another role play, so I want to be able to take any questions. Where can you do role play? If you don't have a for role play, if you don't have a partner, find one. If you can't find one, Do it by yourself, but I'm sure you can find one. Ask the brokerage you're with. They should have people that want to role play, or they should be leading a role play session on a weekly basis, if not daily basis. So for role play, it's find a role play partner or partners, someone that's going to challenge you, not roll over. Make sure that you ask your brokerage or your team lead, hey, is there anybody that wants to role play, or do you have a daily or weekly role play huddle? And then lastly, do it by yourself, if anything. What's the best time of call day? What's the best time of day to call? Anytime. Look, and the reason why I said is because we call from 2 to 3-ish every single conversion day, and we have phenomenal results. Now, if you look at Harvard studies, they tell you that the best time to call is 8 to 10 in the morning and 4:30 to 6:30 at night, which is fine. You can do that as well. But I also want to be calling the same leads at the same time. Okay? Same leads, same time, I would not be calling. Because if you call me at 9:30 every single morning, I know that you're probably quote unquote spam or trying to sell me something. Okay. Yes, Stacy, they do a role play call too. So that's a big group that we definitely push people to. Is every Wednesday there's a role play call. Get on there and role play. Get on there and listen. Get on there and hear the feedback. Then you have this call every other Monday. Let's see what else we got here. What are the questions? Drop your questions in here, guys. Strategy to get new construction clients. You know, to be honest, there's a few ways to do that. It's talking to developers and getting the trust in them for you to be able to be exclusive or you know, pretty much close to the agent for that location. So that's about building relationships. Big time about building relationships. How do you get better tonality? All right, here's a good one. Tonality is key, right? It's everything. There's 3 key components to better tonality. Okay, here's one. Stand up. Tonality comes from your diaphragm. So when you're bent over, sitting down, and you have people tell you, no, I don't want to do business with you. No, I already bought. No, hang up on you. No, it didn't register. Your body will, without you realizing, start to slouch. You start to slouch, your diaphragm starts to get crunched. When your diaphragm starts to get crunched, your tonality isn't as impactful. That's number 1, stand up. Okay. Number 2 is make sure that you have great energy. Tonality is tied with your energy. You have enough water, make sure you work out in the morning. That workout doesn't need to be an hour long. It can be just moving your body, right? Make sure that you're eating the right food. Crazy enough, right? Like my wife was like, oh, we got some lasagna in there. I sure as hell I'm not going to eat lasagna before I have a role play call. I sure as hell I'm not going to eat lasagna before I make my dials. Not happening, right? Don't go heavy on carbs. So that helps with your energy, right? And then number 3 with tonality, put yourself in a position that they're in, right? Empathy. And also tonality, here's another big piece. Tonality has voice fluctuations, pauses, right? Heightened words, right? And then drops. But then it has empathy as well. So those are the big components for it. Does that help? Let me know if that helps. And guys, once again, if you need me, just reach out to me at John Marone, at Real John Marone on Instagram. I could also go ahead and set you up with that role play call if you need it. But definitely reach out to me if you need me. Like yesterday was Easter. Today it's April 18th. We're halfway through the month, a little more. Okay, a little more. So check yourself. Where you at with your habits, right? Where you at with your habits. If you weren't consistent with it, don't let the month end the way it started if it didn't start great. Don't let the month end where you're currently at. Do a little bit more. Do a little bit more. Right? And I'm talking everywhere. Tip your bartenders and your waitresses and waiters a little bit more. Right? When you work out, lift 5 pounds heavier or run the extra mile a little bit more. Right? When you're making your dials, make an extra 5 dials. Do a little bit more. Let that be your motto this entire quarter. Do a little bit more. Do a little bit more. Because normally that little bit more, that's where the gold is. We tend to stop right before we strike gold. Don't stop. Do a little bit more. Every area of life. The way you do one thing is the way you do everything. The way you do one thing is the way you do everything. So use that motto going to this quarter. If you need me, please reach out. So Lindsay asked me what times to call on the weekends, including Sunday. So Sundays get a little shaky, right? Depending on especially where you're at in the world. But I would highly suggest Saturday mornings. Saturday mornings, you should be dialing 9 to 11 Saturday mornings. Good question, Lindsay. Definitely be calling Saturday mornings. And Sunday, if you want to as well, maybe a little bit later, 10 to 12. But it all depends also because, church, different times and everything else. All right, guys, you guys get value today? Drop a yes into the chat if you guys got some value today, whether it's from a mindset or it's from a skill set. And once again, if you guys ever need me, hit me up. I'm here to help outside of the whistles. And if I don't hear from you, if I don't see you, keep crushing it. Please come to one of our conversion days or sync U's. We're going to be in Denver next month. Then we're going to be in Atlanta. And then we're going to be, I'm going back to it. We're going to be in Asheville in August. We'll be in Phoenix in September, Huntington Beach in November. So come on out, one of those, make it work. So Denver is a conversion day. Yeah, Jimmy, it's a 3-day event. And the last day is conversion day. Yep. Get your butt there, man. If you guys need me, reach out. Otherwise, crush the day. Slide into the DMs if you have any questions. Otherwise, take the motto of do a little bit more. Go a little bit further. Do the extra rep. Go a little bit harder this quarter and watch the results come. All right, guys, crush it and talk to you soon.